Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Let's get started with today's incredible live stream video today about an incredible topic, imagination. Okay. I had a Oche. Did I just say Oche? Anyway, um, I had a book called Imagic Nation once, a very long time ago, and it reminds me that the word magi is in imagination, and the word image or image is in imagination. And that goes to show us that how important it is, the images that we keep in our minds. Because if we say, don't think of pink elephants, we'll think of pink elephants. Therefore, we have to change the imagery to the opposite of what a pink elephant would be. Okay? Purple gorilla or whatever. So if we focus on purple gorilla, we're going to stop thinking of a pink elephant, right? So this is the same thing as like if you're telling your kids like don't eat junk food, don't do drugs, don't get pregnant, they're thinking about that more and more. You have to get them to focus on the absolute opposite of that. You have to get them to think of the positive imagery of the healthy food and how it's actually good for you. You have to get them to, prioritize safe sex, right? You have to get them to change the imagery of that negative imprint that you're creating into the positive one. And this is something that I've understood because I started to study positive psychology. Okay. So I'm a positive psychologist. If you guys don't know that, that's my day-to-day work. Okay. That's my profession. And in the meantime, man, I'm the shaman of the interwebs, the neo shaman of the interwebs, and we've created something called peak performance shamanism, okay, which is actually very, very potent and powerful. I'm gonna actually share this with the tribe before I forget, okay? Okay, cool. We have one person watching. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Okay, okay. All right, cool. So, this is a very, very interesting topic. Of course, I'm going to be covering a range of different things here, primarily influences from a few scientists, Jung, Frederick Dodson, who I'm a very big fan of, as well as Goddard, right? Neville Goddard, we've all heard of that one. If you're just coming across some of these names for the first time, it's a good idea to look them up, okay? They're very, very potent and thought leaders, according to me. They're very powerful thought leaders. Steiner's another one, but we won't really cover much of him in this video today. But he also has a very, very interesting approach to imagination. So I highly, highly recommend that as well. So imagination is the greatest nation ever. Okay, it's not the hallucination, okay? It's the imagination. Now let me just share the whiteboard. This way we'll be able to learn together and tap in. Oh, and of course, a pigeon has to land on my window as soon as we begin. Hallelujah, the signs from the divine are coming through. Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? All right. So, the power of imagination. Okay. Now, you've been sold the lie that your mind is just a thinking machine. No, your mind is not just a thinking machine. I have an audience outside these birds outside my window. That's funny. Your mind is not a thinking machine. Your mind is what you'd call a 4D printer. Okay. TXL, one of our adepts, he does 3D printing, right? But this is 4D printing. Okay. That means you have to leave it on demo mode. You've been leaving this thing on demo mode your whole life, that means, right? A normal printer takes ink and paper and gives you a flat image. What does your mind give you? It takes frequency and focus, okay? And it spits out entire realities. It's not bound to only two dimensions, right? A flat plane. It works across the fourth dimension, which is time. Okay, it all comes down to time. And if you understand a little bit of the brain science and a little bit of the mysticism, you fuse them together, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get why this is so powerful. You're gonna get why the deity yoga, the all of the acting exercises we do, all of the different things that we embellish in, including channeling, including peak performance shamanism, including living at our edge, okay, and so forth. All of that, that means that every thought, every feeling, every flash of imagination is not just a picture in our minds, it is actually a coded blueprint for something that will exist in your physical life. So think of every emotion as an ink cartridge, every belief as a printer setting, and your subconscious is the firmware, right? So here's the dangerous part. If you don't choose the design, the collective programs will. Are we getting this? So that's why most people keep printing the same drama, the same heartbreak, the same financial drought over and over and over again because they didn't learn to hack the file system, right? The 4D printer doesn't care what you print. It'll make masterpieces or monsters depending on the data you feed it. Depending on the data you feed it, okay? So if you want a new life, stop feeding the machine scraps of fear and your half-baked visions, okay? Upload the high-res blueprint of the world that you actually want and sit in the emotional frequency of it until your body believes it's already been printed, okay? This is a part of the secret of imagination. Oliviera, hey brother, tapped in. If you have any questions, let me know definitely, okay? So here's the metaphysical kicker. The moment that your mind finishes the 4D print, your senses will discover it out there in the world as if it's appeared, but it didn't appear. You just caught up to your own design file in time. Right? Most people think that they're waiting for reality to give them something to feel good about. Nah, fam. Reality is waiting for you to send the fucking print job, right? So highly successful people use their imagination very deliberately. They see the life they want, they act like the person they want to become, and they refuse to be limited by their current circumstances, right? And the world has a way of feeding us this kind of scarcity mentality, victim mentality, right? To keep us kind of in this trap of like we're not choosing anything. We're just kind of in this rat race. We're in this, dogmatic spiral instead of the upward spiral, right? And we have to fit into the cog in the machine. We have to be a cog in the machine, right? But rather than that, if you understand, as children, we freely used this faculty of imagination until schooling often shut it down, right? What did they tell you? Don't daydream in class, Jimmy, right? Or whatever. So we got it from there. Champ Pack, what's up, Samba? So our physical senses serve the body. But the higher faculties, perception, will, memory, intuition, reason, imagination, these shape our reality. So only 2 to 3% of people actively use these creative powers. Everyone is equally creative. This is what I believe, right, guys? But most people don't exercise their creativity because imagination directs the flow of creative energy through us, shaping the vibration that we live in and the feelings that we experience. But daily building and holding beautiful images of the life that we want and immersing yourself into these images, right? If you look at a sigil and you kind of scry through a mirror and you want that sigil to really be like a part of your life, right? I imagine it like it's being imprinted through all of my cells and DNA. I go that far, guys, right? You're not going far enough with your imagination. This is really the key here in today's little masterclass is I want you to really double down on using your creativity and imagination after today, okay? Because by daily building and holding of those images, our lives can continuously improve, okay? Because we're keeping this inner faculty alive, okay? It's actually a very amazing, graceful thing when it works out the way we want it, okay? So, so we already know that this is not an external fix. Everybody's out here scrambling for an external fix. Let me try this new diet, bro. Oh, what about this new routine? Oh, well, let me try a new gym membership because that gym seems way better, right? The supplement stack, the eat this or not that gospel. It's like people watching people rearrange the furniture in a burning house. And that fire that's stuck inside their own mind, right? The outer is just the printout of the 4D printer. Do you guys see the cosmic joke of this? The outer is just a printout of the inner code of the collective humanity. Okay? You don't like the printout? Stop smudging the ink and change the damn code internally. Yet most folks will do anything to avoid going inwards. Anything. Absolutely anything. Why? Because in there, they've been rehearsing the same tired script for years. Oh, I'm overweight, I'm fat, I'm broke, oh, I'm unlucky in love. Some story they're telling themselves, I'm not good enough, right? And when they hit the treadmill or the vision board with that same script still running in the background, of course they're wondering why reality keeps coughing up reruns, right? Enter imagination, okay, in SpongeBob or whatever. The tool everyone was born with, the tool that built every single invention, every work of art that you see, every skyscraper, every empire, the tool that's been hijacked by worst case scenarios and mental junk food. Imagination is the real world source code editor, okay? It's the real world source code editor because you can rewrite the scene before it's even filmed. Okay? If you're mentally rehearsing doom, guilt, inadequacy, then congratulations, you're running the negative manifestation drill all day, right? But most people aren't failing to manifest. They're just absolute masters at manifesting what they don't want. Hey there, love. Welcome, welcome. So let's say you step into the scene in your mind where it's already done, right? You see through those eyes of completion. Move from that posture. Feel the air of that reality on your skin. And then you carry that frequency like it's your cologne. Okay? It's just natural to me. I use this cologne. Thank you very much, right? The gym, the salad, the bank account, they will follow. They will follow because you stopped patching the outside and started building from the inside. Okay? At least if you're criticizing people, make sure you praise them as much as you criticize them so it kind of neutralizes it and, balances it out in a certain way. Okay, I was telling my mom this a little while ago that you got to make sure that you understand people come with pros and cons and they're not one way. They're never one way. Okay? I can acknowledge someone's flaws and still, you know, be very resonant with their ideas. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we have to understand is if you want to really, really, really break free, feel it first, not later, right? Not when I get the money or when I lose the weight. Now, step into the scene now. So let's do a quick guided meditation, okay? It's inspired by Frederick Dodson on peak experiences. Okay, reclaiming the peak state. Let's get tapped in. Listen, your imagination is already baked. You just got to take it out of the oven. Okay, let's get ready. Close your eyes, tune in. Okay, now take a slow, deep breath in and release like you're blowing out through a straw. Good. Set the intention now to return to one of the highest moments of your life. Okay? Make it the greatest peak experience of your life. Just think back to a time where you felt like everything was just clicking. You felt limitless. You felt so alive. You felt magnificent. Let it rise in your mind. See it, feel it, maybe even hear it. Step into that memory, not as an observer, but as what if it is happening right now? What do you see around you? What colors, what shapes, what lights? And what do you hear? Voices, maybe music, perhaps silence, the rhythm of your own breath. What are you feeling in your body? Good. The texture of air, the warmth or coolness of your skin, right? The aliveness in your chest and your belly and your hands. Awesome. Now remember what was happening right before this peak moment, in the minutes leading up to it. Whoosh, this feels good, right? What were you thinking about? What was your stance, your posture, your attitude toward life? What was your mindset like? What was your frame control like, right? Go back further to the hours before. Who was there? What was the setting? The environment, the terrain, the temperature. Just notice the chain of events that carried you here and feel how inevitable this joy, this power, this radiance was. Let your whole body soften and release any tension now. Let go of the idea that this is separate from you, and now pull the state into the present moment. Now, bring it back to now. However you do that, okay? It could be like a film strip that you're taking and wrapping around you like a blanket. However way that it feels natural to you. I want you to merge that memory of that peak experience with the now, as if your peak self is breathing through you this very instant. Now open your eyes, but stay in the feeling. Look around your room or wherever you are. Yeah. Okay. Hold that posture, that breath, that energy. Let's try it again real quick with a different peak memory. Close your eyes once more. Bring into your mind another time that you felt unstoppable, fully alive. Step into it completely. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What are you touching? Who was there? Or were you alone, maybe yet connected to everything? What were you saying, doing, thinking in the minutes and the hours before that? Breathe into the memory. Breathe into the memory. Let it fill you from the inside out. And once again, dissolve the line between then and now. Let the state remain even as you open your eyes. So this state that you're feeling right now is what most people are chasing when they chase money, success, or external pleasures. This is the true reconnection to source. This is flow state. This is your true I am presence. And here's the truth. You don't need money. You don't need drugs. And you definitely don't need a perfect setting to pull this off because you can generate it from within. Right? And this goes with anything, anytime, anywhere. The more you practice, the less dependent you become on the outer world to feel extraordinary. So start doing this process. Use it for weeks, use it for months, use it for years until living in the state fulfilled becomes as natural as your own breathing. Okay? So I've noticed I've been trying to lose weight, okay? And I've been going into some of these codes that I learned from Frederick. So basically, overweight people, okay? They care too much about their weight, guys. If you have a constant focus on fat or body flaws that fuels the very problem because whatever you put attention on grows, right? So obsessing over your physical body weight actually reinforces your body weight. So the first thing I want you to do is release the resistance to this. Okay? First of all, I spoke about this, the paradox of weight focus. Then you have to release the resistance that you have to being overweight. Okay? Stop doing everything in order to lose weight. Stop the sport, stop the fasting, stop the diet. Do them for joy, vitality, or spiritual reasons. Start doing a sport for a spiritual reason, or a joy reason, or a vitality reason. Do fasting for a vitality reason. Diet from a vitality reason. Are you guys getting the difference, right? Not as a compensation for lack, because resistance and self-judgment keep you actually very stuck in the same uh, space or roles. This is what the Primal Sutra Nexus, the group of spirit guides we work with, have been constantly reinforcing to us this past week, okay? The next thing you got to do is you've got to redefine your self-image, man. Okay? You've got to redefine your self-image because most people view themselves only through the lens of weight, creating and embodying a physical and mental template of the ideal self, posture, feeling, and presence. Okay? Not the specific body, the way that it looks. It's the posture, it's the feeling, it's the presence of the body, the energetics of it. Feeling is as important as visualizing. If you feel fat while imagining slim, it won't work. Okay? Gotta feel slim while imagining fat. Okay? Flip it. All right? No fat shaming over here. Hey, read the disclaimer. Okay? The next thing is let it all hang out. Okay? Don't get any ideas when I say this. But what I mean by this is I've noticed that sometimes I'll like tuck in my stomach to appear, a little bit more, core tightened or whatever. We do this all the time, man. We do this when we grow older too. It's like hiding in clothes, perhaps, or resisting our current bodies, man. Hey, Samba knows all about this. He has people who he trains, every single week or something, right? That come with a really bad self-image, right? So if they just drop tucking in their stomach, hiding in the clothes, and resisting their own body, acceptance will dissolve the obsession, and then from there the transformation becomes natural, right? Because we have to learn to appreciate our look as it is, right? So imagine a guy, he's kind of a little bit chubby, but he still has that sex appeal. Can you guys envision that, right? What is the difference there, right? He's learning to appreciate his look as it is because attractiveness is subjective and also historically fluid, right? And of course, anytime you feel a judgment or a tension, or you like get a weird pain body attack, or you turn on Instagram and you see this guy, this swole guy with abs, you get, fucked up in your head. Anytime any of this happens, you just relax into your body as it is. Then gently shift into the feeling of the ideal self-image. Instead of focusing on them versus me, focusing on you versus future you to create that momentum forward, right? And then discard the clothing and the habits that reinforce that old identity. Guys, when I started going to the gym, I started buying lots of these compression tees, right? My mom's like, why are you wearing such tight clothing? It's like, it's gonna force me to look at my fat, right? And actually embrace it, right? And actually get rid of it because it's clenching. It's clenching to my body now, right? I have no other choice but to accept it. There's no hiding in this game. The hiding makes it worse. A lot of addicts are hiders, right? They just hide instead of embracing. So this is about embracing, actually. You have to change the motive, not just the method. Okay? So fasting, portion control, or low carb diets work better when done out of appreciation or spiritual practice, not a self-punishment. Okay? Your motive programs your results. Okay? Any questions, guys? Just type them in the chat. Hey there, Yam. I didn't see you there. What's up? Yam the bomb. Okay? What's up, man? Or woman, whoever you are. Okay? So your motive programs your results, right? Optimal health. I really got you guys to understand this. Health is no mental obsession. Constantly thinking about health, body, or weight is a sign of imbalance. True health is when your body runs well without your conscious attention. When your body runs well without your conscious attention. Okay? If you have to listen to some system boosters or whatever, if you're getting more fever, sickness, and stuff like this, coughs and colds, weather changes, I highly recommend that you guys listen to some immune system boosters or for subliminals, frequencies, morphic fields online, okay, on YouTube. Highly recommend it. Okay. And of course, hey, when obsession ends, your body naturally finds its healthy equilibrium. So the final point here is the end goal. Either give the topic zero attention or engage with it only to release resistance and reinforce your ideal self-image. Okay? So it's a very interesting idea that Dodson was talking about, that reality is born from will and the imagination. Okay? So your will and imagination are like the true engines of reality creation. But most people's willpower isn't developed enough because, well, they get easily hijacked by outside suggestions, right? Also called heterosuggestions. Autosuggestions or affirmations are things we tell ourselves. Heterosuggestions are other people's comments about us. Okay? Like, let's say someone else calls you overweight or fat. Okay? Does that necessarily make it the case? No. Now, what if everyone you meet is pointing out your weight? Probably you should do something about it, right? Maybe you should try to change your habits or something along those lines. But if one person told you that, so what? Okay? So what? One person doesn't sway. Now, of course, it does depend. Like if it's your parents or like it's your lover, or if it's somebody very close to you, I get that. I understand that, in fact. But at the same time, don't get so easily hijacked by someone else's perspective. You guys get this? Okay? If someone tells you, think of a red car, you think of a red car. Even if they say, don't think of a red car, your attention still goes to think of the red car. So this is how your mind gets programmed by what you focus on, even unintentionally. Now, what's very interesting is, and we all know this stuff, guys, right? I'm just reinforcing these things that we know, that our mental environment shapes our thoughts. So most thoughts that we've picked up from outside, whether it be conversations, random inputs we have, the social media we're watching, the TV, the constant external stimulation, heavy media consumption, this stuff weakens our imagination potential, right, guys? Because it's spoon feeding us images instead of letting our mind just naturally create. What if you're a male and you have a tough time getting an erection? Okay, random example. But this is a case for a lot of guys, right? Now, if you engage with your imagination and fantasies, very naturally, it will happen. The arousal will happen, right? But if you try to think back to some magazine that you watched or some show that you're trying to be turned on by, or you're trying to capture these outward sensations instead of embracing the fantasy that is within you right now. You guys are getting this? This is a huge thing, but it's very simply said right now. It's not so reductionist, what I just said, right, guys? So you have to imagine, 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 imagine until you normalize, accept, accept. You see? So this is how you have to retrain yourself. And also, there's the music test. Okay? What is the music test? Playing one song while trying to hear another in your mind. So play one song while trying to chant the rhythm of another song in your mind. This shows you the challenge of holding your mental focus. The stronger your love for the external song, the much harder it is to maintain your internal song. Okay? So some people have such strong mental waves, they impose them wherever they go. Be very mindful of others doing this to you guys. Okay? Be very mindful of this. I had to be very cognizant today. Otherwise, I would have got manipulated or taken advantage of today. I did not let that happen because I remained mindful. I calmed my breathing. I did what needed to be done. And you have to, the more external noise you cut out, the more you can hear and direct your own imagination, right? So peace, simplicity, and quiet create a space for stronger willpower and a clearer focus. Okay, so reduce your input to increase your inner power. The next thing you want to do is curate your reality consciously, okay? Meaning you have to carefully choose what you see, what you hear, and who you interact with, okay? If you limit your social circle, your media, and the visuals that align with the life that you want, this is why I get annoyed when people say that, oh, the law of attraction people or whatever, they're living in their own bubbles. Yes, they are. That's the point. Do you guys get this? Like the whole point of it is to live in that bubble. Now, this isn't a positive, affirming, like echo chamber of like love and light fluffiness. No, this is actual clear focus towards the end goal and directing our own imaginations. So repeat the thoughts and images to become who you are. That's how you become who you are. You repeat the thoughts and the images in your mind to become who you are. That's what transforms your behavior. That's what transforms your character. Okay? So your willpower is your inner song discipline. Try this out, by the way, guys. Play a song that you really love, right? Mine is, let's say, Lose Yourself, Eminem, right? That's an old school one. If I start listening to that, man, I'm going to start wanting to rap. Okay? I'm just going to, it's just natural for me because I've heard it since I was like 9 years old or something, right? So if I hear that and I'm trying to chant another recent song of some artist, I'll get fucked up, right? So this is the thing, that the ability to hold your own chosen image or inner song despite the outside influence is such a valuable mental skill that not a lot of people talk about. Thank goodness Dodson brought this up because this inner discipline is non-material. It's mysterious, but it's absolutely vital for self-mastery and creating our reality deliberately. Now, what does Neville Goddard say, right? He basically says that your imagination is the divine body. Okay, so he has a very different approach. Of course, he's an American mystic. He has a very different approach. Okay, and he's saying that the internal body of man is imagination itself. That is God, the divine body of Jesus Christ, right? So we are members of this one body. It is crucified in humanity so that each of us may awaken to it or awaken within it, right? Because in Luke's story, the crowd pressed against Christ, but only one woman touched him in a way that released power, right? An inner union, not always a physical touch. So this touch is like a creative fusion, the act that conceives reality. So to touch in the biblical sense means to attach to fashion together, to set on fire with life, right? So in mystical experience, union with the risen Lord is not sexual, but infinitely more intense, right? By fastening it yourself inwardly to a desired scene, feeling it real, you actually join with it. For example, right? Imagine standing on a ship's deck until the sensation becomes so vivid it becomes reality. And now imagine one of your best friends blabbering in your ear, saying, "That's impossible, bro. You're not on a ship." Okay? Imagine that. Okay? Me and Ryan G, we used to do this exercise with TXL and a few other adepts, I believe, too. They know about this technique. It's called Remember When. Okay? Do you remember this one, Ryan G? The Remember When exercise. Okay? Why did you join when I'm talking about touching? It's a different kind of touching, Ryan G. Don't get any ideas, okay? The Remember When exercise, which is essentially you're speaking about the now as if something you want to happen, right, has happened in the past. Remember the time that we got that really giant billboard made in our name of Primal Sutra? Oh yeah, I remember that, right? And then someone else chimes in. Remember the time where we won the Super Bowl or whatever? Okay? So this is what would really allow the mind, right? Take the past images and fuse it with the present image. So you're taking a past memory and making it a now memory. It's a very powerful technique. So you can play this game with your friends. It's a very fun game, right? So in Jacob's wrestling with the angel or the side of the thigh that is touched, it symbolizes that generative power, right? So this is the place in man where divine creation is completed. So you don't go to the desire is already within you. All locations, people, and states exist within imagination. So by touching them inwardly, feeling them as real, you draw power into them, right? You bring them into birth in this world. But hey, be careful what you wish for and be careful what you attach to. Because attaching with feeling, I got to give this as a warning, okay? I got to give this as a warning in big letters. Attaching without feeling, with feeling always brings about creation. So always choose deliberately. Desire health, abundance, and love, then fasten yourself to it in your imagination until the satisfaction of it, the relaxation of it is done. Okay? Imagine having such an incredible, glistening health, a gleaming physical body of your desire, right? How would you hold your body then? It'd be very different, right? Changes my neurology and physiology right now as I'm tapping into this. So I would actually sit more like this. Okay? So incorporate this, guys. Okay? Incorporate more of this into the one body. Eventually, each soul is called one by one into full union with the divine body. So regeneration follows union and resurrection follows regeneration. So this is the destiny of every human being to share in the glorified body of God, to live and create from it consciously. Now, what are some key principles from Carl Jung in terms of mastering active imagination? Okay. For active imagination, the first thing you got to do is you got to enter a receptive state. One of the easiest ways is just palms facing up on your lap, okay? Finding a quiet space to relax, breathe deeply, and open to the flow of your imagination. So your environment should encourage introspection and inward focus in some way. That's what I mean by receptive state, okay? And again, the palms facing up, it just naturally makes you more receptive. Then you practice regularly to imagine. You set aside daily or weekly time for active imagination. Okay? You can even make it, you can record it as a guided visualization for yourself on your phone. Why not? I'm doing this, and then I feel the brush of wind in my hair, and then I did this, and then I did that, and say that as if you're actually there, and then re-listen to it, and then immerse yourself into it, and then keep doing it, right? So number two is practice regularly. Okay, should really clarify this point. Embrace the unknown. Why am I saying this? Because we have to drop our expectations and control. Whenever we imagine something, we always want to control the imaginations immediately. We don't allow the uncertainty or the mystery to guide us. We don't allow the subconscious unknown to guide us. But this is actually where the deep transformation lives, is to just go with it, man. If you're seeing an orange, weird toad in your mind's eye, that's got to be a symbol for something, right? So don't just discard it like, whatever, dude. I'm just thinking ADHD thoughts. I'm thinking weird shit, bro, right? I'm thinking of an orange tuba, right, floating in the middle of the Milky Way. Okay, that's good. Well, again, I'm going to get a little bit at the end about the science of this, okay? But for right now, just drop the expectation and the control. Just embrace the unknown, okay? I don't know, and I love that. That's your mantra. I don't know, and I actually love that. This will make you more free into receiving the downloads, okay? Now work with dreams or symbols. Keep a dream journal. So use recurring, actually, I preferred making a dream mandala, okay? So you just have a mandala like this. You have a center point of your main vision here. And then you just keep drawing little symbols and things around this mandala to create kind of an art piece out of it. So let's say one dream you saw a cat. You write down cat, right? I'm sure a lot of the adepts have cat dreams too, okay? Let's say we see a cat in a dream, right? You write down cat, or you can draw a cat, okay? Make it like ancient hieroglyphs of kittens around the outside or something. Hey, if you want to get creative, do that, okay? I'm just giving you ideas. If you're more visual learner, you will enjoy this method better, okay? So you can write, I mean, you can even paint, you can draw, you can sculpt, you can give outer form to your inner visions. Just don't censor it. Let the unconscious speak through your art, right? Um, Cat flower, right? What if you just drew the little kitty? Meow. Weirdest cat in the world, bruh. Is this a wart? Like, bruh, this looks like a rodent. Anyway, I'm just drawing with my mouse pad, guys. I'm a better drawer than this. But irregardless, let's just at least give him some whiskers, okay? Looks like a rat, but who cares? This is a cat, not a rat, okay? Bars. Okay. So, and then we have an apple, okay, or whatever. So I saw an apple in one dream and I saw a cat in another dream. Well, it's just either that cat is eating the apple, the apple is on top of the cat. I mean, how else are you going to merge those together, right? You just have to find out ways to merge these images together and fuse it into one. The same thing we do with deities we work with, right? It's a very good idea to fuse them into one central channel, right? So including all of your chakra points, make sure that they're all one energy, one theme, okay? One spiritual theme, okay? Then you dialogue with these inner figures. You meet the characters, the archetypes, and presences. Maybe you meet the cat, right? You ask questions, you listen, and you let them respond in their own voice. This could be either your animus or anima. This could be your shadow. Okay, this could be many different things. Okay. So after each session, just note down the insights, emotions, write down the dates. Okay. You got to find out a way to reflect and integrate. Okay. I forgot the work with dreams and symbols here. And the dialoguing with the inner figures, okay, over here, okay? Now you got to seek support if needed, okay? I do know that I don't know if there is a Jungian oriented therapist near where you live right now, but even then, maybe they can help you navigating very overwhelming or unclear experiences, okay? But you can do this yourself, 100%, okay? Because you have to embody what you discover. Active imagination is useless if it just stays in your head. Okay? So live out the wisdom through your conscious action, new habits, creative expression in the world. Maybe you buy a cat. Maybe you eat more apples, whatever it is, right? You get what I mean, okay? Any other questions? A giant green cat dream 2 days ago. Ayo! Okay, called it. Okay. Says Yam Labam, okay? So, every time you imagine, you're not just closing your eyes and seeing pictures, you're operating out of one of the most advanced reality weaving engines in the known universe. Guys, your brain isn't this passive thing, it's a precision synced myelin coated quantum timing device. You guys get this? And the prefrontal cortex, okay, the front of this part of your brain is the conductor. It's the posterior cortex is your orchestra. Your neuronal ensembles are like little tribes of cells that wire together by experience. Okay? Whatever fires together, wires together, you might have heard from your science class or whatever, right? So these are your instrument sections. And when that conductor pulls the strings, two completely unrelated ensembles. Well, what are two random words, right? Like grapefruit, okay? And let's do Uncle Makara. Let's do crocodile, okay? Crocodile, okay? Now, can this be activated in a perfect unison, producing something that our eyes have never seen before, even if our mind recognizes it instantly, right? So, what if I could imagine that this crocodile or whatever, right? Oh, fuck. I can't really draw on this. Uh, Whatever. Man, it's really tough to draw on this thing. Okay. Okay. Whatever. So, this crocodile is eating a grapefruit. Okay. Or it's like balancing it on its back or whatever, right? So this grapefruit and crocodile is now your mind instantly imagines it as I've drawn this out more, right? So this is kind of how the mental synthesis in our brain works. The ability to take separate fragments of memory, perception, possibility, some show we watched, something from our past, right? And stitch them all together into new worlds. So this is not just creativity, which is old ideas with new insight. It's the fundamental technology of consciousness. Okay. And here's the wild part. The speed, the clarity, and power of the synthesis depends on the insulation of your neural wiring. Okay? So myelin, this fatty glistening coats that let your electrical impulses travel faster than any computer signal, this wiring is tuned into your childhood. And it's sculpted by the games you played in childhood, the stories you imagined in childhood, the worlds that you explored in childhood. So this is why kids can dream galaxies into existence before their lunch. Their 4D printer has been unshackled by the reality. But for most adults, this sacred text has been hijacked by mass media, by OF, by advertising, by random distractions. We've outsourced our imagination to Netflix, to symbolism, to TikTok trends, right? We've given our symbolism to TikTok trends instead of printing our own realities, creating our own sigils. Let me use this sigil that this one mage has said, right? We're letting someone else do the work for us. We're running someone else's blueprint, guys, or flow print. And that's the tragedy. Because the same neural machinery that lets you picture a duck teaching French on Mars is the machinery that lets you design the next chapter of your life. Okay? So I'm telling you now, reclaim your 4D printer. Feed it raw symbols, rich archetypes, right? Personal mythologies. Strengthen it with your deep focus, your silence, and your play, and stop letting the external world hijack your ensembles. You see, your mind is a sculpture of worlds, and every image that you hold, every scene that you rehearse, every inner move you play is a signal you're etching into the quantum field. So that means imagination isn't a child's game, guys. Imagination. Take on this perspective. Just drop your past baggage and just listen to the statement. It's the pre-creation phase of reality itself. Okay? It's primal sutra, before all else vibration. Okay? So if you master it and you stop living in someone else's construct, you become the architect, the conductor, the director, the dreamer who dreams with eyes wide open. Okay? So guys, the next time that you're picturing something super wild, okay? Like let's say a phoenix drinking espresso and on top of Saturn's rays or rings, right? Just know it's not in your head. It's your prefrontal cortex that's conducting a cosmic orchestra and syncing up all of these neural ensembles across space-time with precision, right? Myelinated lightning. That's the mental synthesis that's happening. This is your brain's secret art of weaving reality from fragments. So the more you play with it, the sharper your 4D printer will get. Okay. And as your 4D printer becomes super sharp, in other words, imagination isn't just daydreaming, it's daydreaming on purpose, right? It is reality prototyping. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's transmission today. And looking like Tony Montana today. Hey, let's go, okay? Hey. All right, let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang, thank you so much for tapping in, guys. Much love. I appreciate all of you for tuning in and tapping in. Man, it's really hot in this room. This AC ain't working for shit. Okay, let's get it. Upward Spiral. May we never get it. May we never get it. Huh? What? Absolutely, we'll get it. Every single moment we keep winning, okay? Every single millisecond we keep winning. Tribe, join the Telegram group, okay? If you're not a part of it, to catch up on our podcast when we're going live and the free channelings and healings that happen every week on Wednesday. So tomorrow there will be one, okay? There will be one tomorrow. So get tuned in for that. Usually it's 8:30 p.m. CET, that's Central Eastern Time in Europe, okay? In India, it'll be past midnight, so 12. That's where I'm streaming from. And for the rest of the world, maybe it'll be like something like in the morning for the US or something, I think, 9 or something like this. But you have to double check with the time zones and so forth. Okay? Tap in, guys. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Tune in. Let's get it today. Upward spiral. May we never be the same again. Peace. Thank you, guys. Stay legendary. Okay?